Welcome to video 16 entitled Making Peace with a Great Betrayer Within, or in other words, accepting those parts of you that you have previously rejected. Whoa! Hi, I'm Charlotte Walter, Amazon best-selling author and barrier breakthrough coach, and thank you for joining me because I'm thrilled to be bringing you this Walking in Self-Mastery series. Now, what is the great betrayer, you may ask, and could something with a name like this possibly come bearing gifts? Well, stay tuned and find out. The great betrayer is those parts of you that you reject. For example, a belief in lack of wealth or health, emotional eating or drinking or craving, and so forth. Those painful and cringe-worthy sticky habits. It's your inner critic, that unforgiving, rebellious, zealous, and cruel one within. It can be an inner self-loathing lurking in a dark corner. It is that part of you that sabotages the manifestation of what you truly desire. It's that part that holds resentments and regrets. Well, how does it sabotage us? You'd love to ask, right? It is our unconscious or unacknowledged fears and emotions that build blocks and barriers to you freely living a fulfilling life. That's what this video is all about. That is acknowledging the truth of your being and then accepting it. The lack of self-love and self-acceptance is revealed by your great betrayer. Until you can move that energy, you remain largely stuck. Unless and until we begin to acknowledge what is so for us, we continue our chronic patterns of denial and resistance, leaving us feeling betrayed by our failures and often blaming others for them. Underneath it all are feelings of utter helplessness after many failed attempts at manifesting a world of your desires. Failures such as in relationships and careers. They're predictably followed by drama, heartbreak, loss, and chronic lack of abundance. If you're lucky, it gets so bad that you're in crisis and the pain becomes intolerable. It feels like your identity has been ripped away. What? Well, hold on, the cavalry's on its way. If you're ready to take responsibility for it all in your life and look honestly at yourself, the great betrayer will become the great revealer, because it has become obvious something must change with how you think and feel. Well, where do you begin? Well, our life patterns and chronic failures and losses point to what we're ignoring and denying or resisting about ourselves. Listen to your words and thoughts, for they are the great betrayer. For example, when you condemn someone or something, it is a projection of your own insecurities and fears, because you blame others for your self-created fears. Look at your judgments, biases, and prejudices for those clues to those feelings and fear. The helplessness within, they are the great betrayers, as they are stuck blocks of energy, which are barriers to you living your life fully and freely. I didn't say this would be easy, folks. What moves that stuck energy, or how to make peace with it? The answer lies in full self-acceptance, and that's what this video is about. A beautiful synchronicity occurred while I was preparing the script for this particular video. I had been working on it for a few weeks and testing it with my coaching clients for months. And as it began to really gel in my mind, Yeshua ben Joseph's daily message from Oak Ridge University, as channeled by Judith Coates, started talking about a similar process for about 3 consecutive days, giving me even greater insight and clarity as to how to express and explain it. Naturally, this confirmation of the process thrilled me. Oak Ridge University has published 7 volumes of Yeshua channelings, and to find the books, check out the website. Here's the link. You'll find the information very pure and beautiful. Now, why does self-acceptance move the stuck energy, or just acknowledgement of it? Paradoxically as it seems, welcome the painful life patterns and chronic failures as a friend, and at the very least, a messenger. As best you can, allow, or if possible, embrace that fear, anger, and frustration as the prodigal child within. Why? Because it is your rejection of what the truth of your being is that is holding you back. Shame is the saboteur. Embarrassment, and so accept it, acknowledge it. It's the rejection that keeps the chronic problems going. So it's time to stop, take a breath, and make friends with yourself. Become the great transformer by acknowledging the polarities within you. They're all part of you, whether you reject them or not. In other words, they're still there, despite your best efforts at denial, rejection, and resistance. Self-loathing and shame keep the chronic patterns alive. Acknowledge and accept them all, the dark and the light. As Einstein said, we cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. In my world, I interpret that to mean with the same consciousness, because the probability is high that your ego created them, because most of us are dominated by egoic thinking. It's time to shift out of ego to raise your consciousness or vibration, to find the solutions that lie within you. Recognize ego cannot shift you into higher consciousness. Our pain and woundedness embodies our false belief about ourselves. We just believe, for instance, I'm flawed, not enough, I'm unforgivable, and these feelings are painful. But when they are acknowledged and accepted, the belief begins to weaken, and your empowerment begins to grow in strength. Now here's the process we'll be using in the meditation that follows. You will begin by setting your intention to call upon the higher realms for help in this process. Since ego has not succeeded, it's obvious it's time to call in the greater power, or the bigger gun. In the meditation that follows, we'll gently use the gift of God's grace, your breath. You'll be visualizing breathing in divine love and exhaling in total release and relief. Now you'll repeat this process until you feel more centered and grounded. We'll do it 3 times, but if it takes 100 breaths, do it. You'll be opening up your heart center by putting your arms, shoulders, and head back. As you inhale the light of divine love, asking for divine help and shifting your consciousness into a higher vibration, which is love. This is shifting out of ego through using your breath and calling for divine help. Now, once you feel grounded, you'll look at the negative and painful energy and emotions you were feeling and accept them. This is a gentle process, acknowledging that they are part of you, allowing them fully to be present, and a part of you. As you do so in all self-compassion, you are letting go of resistance and those parts of you that you reject, for self-rejection begins to weaken, and compassionate self-acceptance begins to grow within. Now this takes practice, commitment, and persistence, perhaps for the remainder of your life. You are learning to handle the energetic forces with your love, calling upon your higher self, your soul, in recognition of the omnipresent creative substance in the ethers. So let's move on to the meditation. I'm very excited to be sharing this particular meditation with you because of the powerful breakthroughs my coaching clients and I have been experiencing. I hope you will do so as well. So prepare for meditation. Get your feet firmly on the floor or the ground. And before we begin, select something you don't like about yourself, something that is painful to you that I discussed in the introduction. It could be a habit such as emotional eating, fear of loss, a belief in lack, a sadness, depression, shame, guilt. It is a pain and painful. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the worst, label the intensity of your pain and emotion. Close your eyes, uncross your legs, and for this meditation it's best to be in a sitting position, although not necessary to be effective. You will be using the divine gift of the holy breath, God's grace, to open up and connect to your inner presence, your soul, your higher self. Or in other words, you'll be elevating your consciousness. Set your intention to call upon the higher realms for assistance as you go through this process. Now, when I cue you to inhale, I want you to move your arms, head, and shoulders back, such as I demonstrated in the opening introduction, which then opens your heart center physically as you visualize breathing in divine love. So with me now, inhale, visualizing breathing in divine love. Now hold it. Hold the breath for a moment, sending this loving energy into every cell in your body. Then exhale, releasing and letting go of all. And as you do, bring your hands back into a prayerful position. Again, with the next inhale, open up your chest and heart chakra. With me now. Inhale, visualizing breathing in divine love flowing in on your breath. Hold it while sending this healing energy to your cells. And now exhale, letting go of it all. Let's just take a sigh of relief here. Breathe in. Let's do that again. By now, you're beginning to see and feel your heart center expanding and growing and glowing in brightness with each breath. During this process, continue to call upon the higher realms for assistance in moving your energy, consciousness, and focus higher. One more inhale now with me. Breathe in, opening up your heart center. Hold it, sending this beautiful energy to light up all of your cells and feel them relaxing. Exhale, letting go of all, bringing your hands back into a prayerful position. Just notice how you're feeling safer, more peaceful, comfortable, and at home now. Recall now the painful thought that you chose before we started and get it very clear in your mind, in your mind's eye. Now speak out loud to that thought. For example, if you had chosen lack or self-loathing, you'd say, self-loathing, I'm afraid of you. I feel ashamed, and I'm in deep pain. Now speak it again. Speak it out loud. I'm afraid of you. I'm ashamed. You are painful. Now stop and notice where you feel it in your body. You may feel it in your back, or a churning in your solar plexus, your neck or shoulders, and so on. Just take a moment now. This is a body inventory. Now focus in on that pain. Find out where it's the strongest. Really focus in on that center of pain in your body. Within your mind's eye, go within the pain now, because to go within it allows you then to flow with it and it with you. Instead of being all worried and constricted about it, say to the pain, okay, I feel you now. And within the mind's eye, your mind's eye, put yourself within the pain, wherever it may be in the body. Just go within it now. Merge with it. This is a gentle process. Take your time. If you feel afraid, you're safe. Now, from the light of your consciousness, begin to expand the boundaries of the pain more and more and more. If you feel resistance, call upon the higher realms for assistance and protection as you continue to merge and expand into this energy. Speak to it out loud now. We are one now. I feel you in my body, pain. Begin to feel the energy flowing as you move within it now. If you're very fearful, place yourself in a bubble of light, but keep moving into it until you are one with it. Notice how self-rejection begins to weaken and compassionate self-acceptance begins to grow within you as you continue to move this energy. And as you practice this over time, your self-compassion and self-acceptance grows in strength. Talk to this pain now, tell it, and just listen to this for a moment, and then talk to this pain out loud in your own words, something like this. In the past, in shame and fear, I have rejected you. And now I realize that you are a sacred part of me. You are the wounds, arrows, and pains of life that I've experienced, and in an attempt to protect and defend myself, I have rejected and resisted you. Now again, you're going to speak out loud and just listen to this for a moment and put it in your own words or something like this. Now, because I realize my feelings are valid, I understand how my emotions and ego dominance have evolved and how I've become what I am now. How you have been and are a sacred part of me. I accept you now fully, in all self-compassion. Call upon the Divine Mother Energy or your inner presence or your higher self for assistance now in accepting all of you, all the polarities within. As you begin to love all of you and all of life, even those parts that you have previously rejected, denied, and resistance, all that stuck, painful energy will begin to weaken and fade. As you fully accept all of you, you will feel more and more empowered within. Why? Because you're telling the truth to yourself about what is so for you. Then, the inner conflict and struggle from your resistance and rejection of you, and which drains your energy, subsides. You may notice joy begin to bubble up and creativity begin to bloom, slowly opening the golden chest of gifts that the great betrayer, who became the great revealer, and now the great transformer, brought to you and continues to bring to you, and which were and are yours from the beginning. Feel the peace and calm that is slowly growing and moving through you. When you're ready, gently begin to bring your focus back into the present moment. I suggest that you make notes of your experience and feelings, any revelations, realizations that you had, noting how your body feels now on a scale of 1 to 10, how that emotional pain and physical pain feels compared to when you started. It takes practice, commitment, and persistence, perhaps for the remainder of your life, to empower yourself more and more. Thank you for joining me. And let me know how it went, how it goes, if you have any questions. And so it is. Here's my contact information, Char@barrierbreakthroughcoaching.com. And here is the link to my YouTube playlist. Thank you, and God bless you.